What's up YouTube, Playmatter here, and today I'm bringing you this video all about comparing two decks. I have two Qliphort decks for you that have won tournaments this weekend. One was 15-1 over the last 2 weeks, and one managed to come first place at his regionals in Huddersfield with 101 players, I think it was. So yeah, I'm going to go through the list first of Ross, who went 15-1 over the last 2 weeks. He plays 1 Towers, 3 Scout, 2 Odd Eyes, 2 Trampolinks, 3 Carrier, 2 Disc, 2 Helix, and 1 Shell. For the spells, we've got 2 Chalice, Limiter Removal, 2 Pop Duality, Regeki, 3 Sacrifice, 3 Summoner's Art, Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory, 2 Madolche Knights, 1 Climate Change, 3 Skill Drain, Torrential Tribute, and 3 Vanity Emptiness. For the side, he said that he'd probably just make the Ambitious go for another Vanity's Fiend, but he did side Ambitious go for, and it was quite good all day. So that, and then a Vanity's Fiend, 3 MST, 2 Stormforth, 2 different dimensional ground, 2 Shadow Imprisoning, 1 Soul Drain, and 3 Wiretap. You can ignore the extra deck on both of these. I'll go on to the next profile, which is Ben, who placed first at the Huddersfield Regionals, playing 1 Towers, 3 Scout, 2 Odd Eyes, 1 Trampolinks, 3 Carrier, 2 Disc, 3 Helix for the monsters, and then spells we have all 3 MST, all 3 Duality, all 3 Sacrifice, all 3 Summoners Art, and 3 Upstarts. And for the traps we have 1 Bottomless, Climate Change, 2 Skill Drain, Solemn Warning, 2 Vanity Limitless, and 3 Wiretap. For the side we have 1 Recover, 1 Qliphort Shell, 3 Emergency Teleport. He was playing Notoria Beast in the extra deck, so this allowed him to make first turn Notoria Beast in the mirror match, which basically wins you the game. 3 Spell Shattering Arrow, 1 Compulsory, 2 Dark Bribe, 3 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and the 3rd copy of Skill Drain. Okay, so I'm joined today by Ben Hacker Hughes with the first place. Hi Ben.
Hey.
So when comparing two decks, I always find it really useful to talk to the players playing the decks and to get other people's opinions on specific card choices that are different between the two decks, which is why I've got Ben with me today. And I'm just going to kind of ask a few of the questions about the cards that are different. Obviously there's loads of cards in the deck that are the same. Okay, so the first thing you wanted to explain was why is Towers so good and why were you playing it for this tournament?
I thought there's going to be a lot of BA at the tournament, and I think Game 1 against BA is really horrible, especially if they Wing Blast your Scout, so you can't resolve it, or you get your Pendulum Scale Violect. You just lose, really. So I thought if I can run one card, which I can search, and if I summon it, I just completely win, because a lot of people aren't playing their only out to it, which is ranking up into C69, because rank up's quite unpopular. Yeah, they have no out to it. So if I thought, if there's one card I can search and it just wins me the game, I'm going to run it, because I want to steal some Game 1s.
Obviously there are some really interesting cards and one-ofs in the other list with Ross. I'd like to kind of ask you what your thoughts are on those particular cards. I really like Chalice in this list, in the deck in general, obviously. What are your thoughts on Chalice?
Chalice is a really good card, and I was initially playing it. It's just a matter of things that I absolutely had to play and would not play any smaller amount of. So it's just a matter of there are better cards.
Okay. What do you think about Limiter Removal?
Limiter Removal, it's cool, but it suffers from a lot of the other cards that I didn't run, because I consider them to be win more cards. Cards like Regeki, I didn't run because I found myself clearing my board and then doing like 11,000 damage instead of 9,000. Like, you're not really gaining much from that one card.
Okay, cool. So what do you think about Madolche Knights?
Yeah, I think Madolche Knights is a good card. However, I was actually planning to use my extra deck a lot more than I actually did, which was not once. I ran Lavalva Chain, which I think is really good, because if you open lots of monsters and no Scout, you can stack Scout, and then you're good from there. Now, I was planning to use cards like that, and also Castel. I didn't end up making them, and using any of them and not having Sacrifice makes Madolche Knights completely dead. So I just thought the potential risk isn't worth running it over other cards.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you're playing 2 Skill Drain, and he's playing 3 Skill Drain in the main deck. What made you cut it down to 2?
Skill Drain is an absolutely incredible card, and one of the best cards in the deck. However, I thought that 3 skill drain would often be a really bad draw in the mirror match. So I sided the third. And so...
Did you have a lot of mirror matches at the regionals?
I played, I think it was 3 Qliphort, and that's more than I played any other deck.
Okay, and how many rounds was the tournament itself?
It was 7.
7 rounds, and you went 7-0?
Yes, I lost 1 game to Shadell, and every other game was every other match was 2-0.
Wow. Okay, cool. He's running 3 Vanity's Emptiness, and you're running 2. What made you cut it down to 2? And do you think for your next tournament you'll keep it at 2 or bring it back up to 3?
I often did want the third emptiness in. It's just it's a card that can be dead sometimes if you haven't got a board or your opponent has got a board. It's just I don't know. I did get amazing value out of emptiness at one point. There was a Qliphort player who, I think it was game 2, he could OCK me that turn. So I thought, my only way of winning this game is if I just flip emptiness in his draw phase before he compented him, just hope he doesn't have MSC. So he didn't. The next turn I got rid of my emptiness, OCK'd. So it's a really good card. I probably will run 3 at the next event.
So what are your thoughts on Solemn Warning?
Solemn Warning and Bottomless Trap Hole were 2 cards that I main decked for the mirror match. I guess my build is somewhat trap heavy with 10 traps, if you count Wise Hat, which isn't really a trap. But they're cards that are amazing in the mirror match because if you do both of them on a big pendulum summon, your opponent's lost all of their resources. Now, Solemn Warning, I agree that it really clashes with Scout because of how many life points you pay, but I don't think I actually drew it all tournament.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
But I'm not sure. It's good. It's very good in that pendulum summon scenario. There are cards it's really bad against, such as a Dante being XE summoned.
There's a lot of spell and trap removal in this deck with Bends. 3 Wiretap and 3 MST in the main deck, whereas the other deck opted to play all those cards, but all 6 in the side deck. That's very interesting, and I'd just like to get your thoughts, Ben, on why it's so important to keep them in the main deck and not have this kind of like teched out main deck version.
There's 2 matchups that I'm thinking about when deciding to run cards or not. The mirror match and Burning Abyss. I don't care about the Shadowll matchup because it's not favourable for them at all, so I'm not going to tech stuff for it. 3 Wiretap is because it can shuffle back Firelake and negate Firelake. Obviously, Firelake is recyclable, so shuffling it back is absolutely huge, and negating Firelake is just something you've got to do because it wins, basically. It just wins. 3 MST, not only is it can kind of double as a Wiretap if they got 1 back row to do it in their end phase. Also, Scout. I wouldn't play any less than 3 MST because MST and Scout in the mirror match is just huge.
Cool. That's fair enough. And Ben, what's your sort of thoughts on Upstart Goblin and 3 Duality?
I think my logic on triple Upstart, triple Duality, etc. was from a United Ghosts article.
Okay.
Actually, ironically enough, it was called The Case Against Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and the reasons it said to not run Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon were the reasons why I ran Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Cards like Duality, Upstart, and Odd Eyes increase your chances of drawing Scout by a percentage to the extent where you will actually open with them in more games over a certain round event.
Yeah.
And when your deck is Scout, any card that gives me more of a chance of drawing Scout, I will run in the maximum amount. Except Odd Eyes, because it can be completely dead late game.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we're going to move on to comparing the 2 side decks. There are a few cards, like the Monarch Stormforth and Vanity's Fiend, that you're not playing in the side deck. And are you playing Soul Drain?
No.
Yeah, so just those 3 cards, that's Vanity's Fiend, Monarch Stormforth, and Soul Drain, as to kind of why you chose not to play those in your side deck.
Okay, Monarch Stormforth is stops you summoning from your extra deck, and although tributing their monster for a Vanity's Fiend or one of your monsters is really good, I just don't like not being able to Pendulum Summon ever, so I didn't want to run that card at all. Vanity's Fiend is really good, however, the problem with BA is they've got so much monster removal that expecting to just shut them out with 1 card, I think that's a bit naive, because the odds that it's going to get Karma Cutted is actually really high. So I don't like something that's not like a permanent solution.
Yeah. And yeah, so what about Soul Drain?
Soul Drain, it's a similar thing to what you said with Solemn Warning. Like, paying life points in addition to Scout is pretty bad, and the reason I do that with Skill Drain is because Skill Drain is just a stupid, unfair card, which I will run at 3 because it's that broken. With Soul Drain, I mean, it's basically a far inferior version of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and I found that when playing Tell Knights, I'd often wish it was a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, because even if they don't get, like, their Dante effects, they can still rank 3 with Tour Guide. Soul Drain may stop Dante's effect when it dies, and Virgil's effect when it dies, which is drawing 1 card. It's not that good anyway. But I'd much rather just negate all the effects, including Tour Guide.
All the effects.
Drain. I'm always going to have the max complement of Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors.
That's cool.
I have a running joke with my friends about Dark Bribe. I was thinking of things to side deck, and basically the logic behind Dark Bribe is, if I could side more wiretaps, I would do that. And because Fire Lake, as I said, it just completely wins the matchup. But there are actually a lot of other uses for Dark Bribe. The main use is to negate Fire Lake, so I did side it in against Burning Abyss because it negates Fire Lake, as well as the huge amount of traps they play. But it can also negate Scout and send it to the graveyard. Now, the fact that you can bring back Scout is actually really big, because if it gets MSC'd or something, because as soon as you do get a Scout, you've got 1 more monster you can tribute from disc and stuff, 1 more monster you can kind of wall with, because this deck kind of lacks defense. So putting a Scout to the graveyard is awesome. And if they ran Medulce Knights, then that too. But also Dark Bribe negates all the side cards that can be used against you. Now, obviously, Wiretap can hit Fairy Wind, and that's why I kept it in, like nearly always. But Dark Bribe can negate, in addition to Scout in the mirror match, it can also negate Spell Shattering Arrow, which is a huge card.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it's a counter-siding card.
Congratulations on your original win. What was your prize?
I got 3 boxes, but me, Igo, and Luke Parks decided to split like 2 rounds before the end, because we were all undefeated.
Okay.
So I ended up getting 2 boxes instead of 3. So, woo! But I didn't expect to win, so that was quite a sensible decision to split. But
congratulations to Luke Parks and Jack Igo as well.
We actually got deck checked for about 20 minutes before our game started, so we were playing Hangman and just joking about.
Brilliant.
So it's just really nice to top with your friend from locals, and I also gave a lot of my packs from the box to my friend Tom Napper, who I'd like to thank for lending me the deck, which was really awesome.
Cool. Cheers, Tom. Cool, well, thank you so much, Ben, for joining me for this video.
No problem.
So from talking through things with Ben, I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that when you're looking through your own deck and building your own version of whatever deck you're building, you really want to look at things like consistency. What's the main best card in the deck that you always want to have, and kind of what are the outs and what's the what's the meta, what are you going to be playing against, and how many outs to certain things like Scout do you need, and traps, and just how much do you need to resolve everything that you have, and draw into everything that your main deck's engine. So yeah, it's really important to consider that when you're considering spell and trap removal versus tech cards, and upstart goblins versus more cards in deck that kind of give you more options, but then do set you theoretically 3 cards further away from your best cards. So yeah, it's really interesting to kind of have that comparison. So yeah, I hope this video was really helpful, so you can kind of see the reasons and decisions behind different card choices, and how you can compare one deck to another based on the YCS lists that you'll see from Anaheim that will be coming out soon, I'm sure. And I will be making more videos comparing 2 of the same deck, because I think it's a really healthy practice to see and get an insight into why other people have made certain card choices, and to hear the thought processes that go into making those choices. Thanks for watching this video, guys. From now on, I'll be giving away 1 pack with every one of my videos from prize support that I've received at tournaments. If you'd like to win one of these packs, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment on this video. The winner will be whoever leaves the most interesting question or the best comment on this video. I will then private message you on YouTube and send you your pack for free. Till next time, guys, Play Matter, signing out. Bye.